This is episode 10 of the Sexcapade Chronicles. Lisa and Jen are here to bring you some fun and entertainment today.
Yay!
As we were laughing as we began recording this. So, Lisa is very hilarious. I don't know if you know this, but, we were talking about tomorrow is my big speech at Mental Health Matters Day, and we were talking about trauma. And she's like, well, either laugh, cry, or kill people. I wasn't aware that these were my options of survival.
I like the third one. However, it's frowned upon in society.
Apparently. So I chose to laugh and get through life that way, as you can tell with everything I do. But I didn't know what crying, not really a fan of that one. And killing people, I worked too fucking hard to stay alive to go to prison.
Right. No one looks good in orange.
Is that what I thought it was blue. Like they had blue.
You were orange in prison.
I thought, I've seen people in blue. Is that jail?
I don't know. You know what? I think it depends on which county. I know in Stanislaus, San Joaquin County, if you're in for murder, you wear red. Different crimes, or you wear different colors.
Alright, so if you know the answer to this, please comment right now on the post, because I want to know what color your prison outfit is determined by. So
I think in Sac County, because I just watched the Netflix show Jailbirds. I just binge watched it.
Oh my god.
They wore yellow or orange and white stripes.
Okay, so we're gonna continue on. Please, viewers, tell us so we're not hypothesizing given TV shows and.
It's real life, man.
I don't know.
Also, I would like to say I sound like a 90-year-old smoker that's been up for 3 weeks because Mother Nature is trying to kill me.
Darth Vader. Darth Vader is here next to me today, but she
That's
showed
what it
up.
sounds like when I breathe. I'm on 3 different allergy medications. Apparently, it's frowned upon too. But I'm alive.
For now.
My kidneys and livers.
Livers.
My shut down.
I have type O blood. You're really lucky I could donate probably. I don't know if you want half of mine though. All things considered, that's probably not the organ you want to take from me.
But I'm here. Oh, I'm sweating. Good God.
Oh, the things that go on in this apartment. Okay, so let's talk about Justin and you.
Yes. We painted. It was so much fun, and I probably enjoy painting more than I should. But it's very therapeutic.
So the remodel has begun. So thank you guys for your donations for events, rants, all that stuff. We were so appreciative.
Yeah. So and I got some more yesterday. I can't wait. So I think next episode you want to do the rants and events about relationships, past, present.
For perhaps future me. What do you think it'll be like to, deal with my ass dating me? Because I'm single again, so don't worry.
Oh shit. So that'll be fun to go over everyone. I'm excited to be like, look, you piece of shit.
I'm doing this every day anyways. It's part of our norm.
But now we're doing it for other people. It'll be good.
Great. Anger management meets us. Fantastic.
I think it's going to be therapeutic for me.
Well, when you tell me my options are to survive life or laugh, cry, or kill people, I think it's going to be very therapeutic for others. I concur. Now knowing that this is the mindset we came from.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Alright, so
the other thing, Friday, we were on the Arnie States show. It was so exciting. An hour and a half of our shenanigans.
Yes. We were very fortunate that he kept us on for that long.
Yeah, we got to do 2 segments. It was a lot of fun. His asathon.
Asathon, yes.
To fight MS, and hopefully he got a ton of money and goes to good use.
Yeah, he was laughing at our song list. We left him with our donations. The Jen Bryant.
Fucking there was Undrunk, Boys in the Hood,
Martha Jordan, This Is How We Do It, Dirty Dancing, Time of My Life, and then I don't remember the last one, but it was a very good mixture of the Jen Bryant moods for the day. Okay, I broke my cheekbone because of the Dirty Dancing Time of My Life move on this floor, so.
I should be embarrassed that my kids know Eazy-E, Boys in the Hood song. I should be oh my god, they should know that. I'm not. I'm kind of yeah, my kids are badass.
Of course you are, because they can see along with you. I mean, what's not to love there?
They've grown up with NWA, Dr. Dre, and Eminem.
So the 90s, 101.1.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is better than that? So wait, Big Al on 101.1. If you're watching this, we love you.
Yes, I was on in my car.
Mine too. Because what's better than like the jamming out to the songs that you grew up with?
My daughter's called old rap.
Old rap. the old rap, because we're old now.
You're old, so old rap. It's still better than
the new rap, I guess. Because, like, I like the jams. Like, you get it, like... Okay, so this is how I lost my virginity. I kid you not. So I'm really sorry to the person this is referring to. He, like, wooed me with, like, singing Usher to me. And, like, singing, like, these songs in bed. So, like, I thought it was super sexy. Like, that's what everybody does to get in the mood.
You got to do mood?
I did. And, like, Nelly and, like, all of these songs, you know, like... I think that I really had. That's why we were together for 6 years, because I got, you know, sung to in bed. Apparently, and that's not normal. But I really no problem. Mood. I can talk today. Mood music. Like, you know, I didn't know that was not a thing until I was single at 23, and people weren't doing that.
You're like, where's my music?
I'm like, I'm at the club, like hearing these jams. Like, no one wants to go home and put this shit on and have sex. I don't understand.
You know how we didn't even prepare this to talk about it. You know about me losing my virginity?
Oh yes, please tell me.
I was 15, dude was 23, and I literally met him on a street corner in San Francisco.
So, we can't be tried for crimes because we're out of that statute of limitations. I know this because thankfully I was pre-law.
Like, it wasn't like from the corner to go have sex, but like...
Oh I don't even want to like ask if you like...
We like talked on the phone for a while and...
Oh, people talked about me and the money next to the bed. The corner with Lisa on it.
Corner of Hayden Ashbury.
Oh my
Keeping
god.
it classy.
Very. Isn't that where all of the like famous artists,
hippies, and the whole like in the 1960s and
overdose? Yeah, because I've been down that street like once because I don't go to the Bay.
Yeah. No, I used to hang out down there.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
All right, so party friends.
I got a little sidetracked.
A little sidetrack for the day. No worries. We're gonna talk about some fun things today.
Okay. So
Darth Vader continues.
Totally got sidetracked. We were gonna get serious for a minute, so let me like backtrack a little bit away from my losing my virginity story.
I'll never get over this. Like me being serenaded with Usher and you on a street corner. Very different first time like, you know, experiences.
My eyes are watering. Okay. So back to the serious part. Okay. So it's not only the shenanigans of losing virginity stories. You know, part of what we do is talk about the trauma and the effects that it has on our lives. How we can support each other, because that's huge.
Yeah.
I know we rely on each other to keep the crazy down a little bit.
A lot of it.
Discussing mental health and suicide, effects of being in the public eye, which I was just talking about. People are fucking mean and you need to stop.
Well, yeah, because like we all...
It's not necessary.
Well, I have a lot of friends in the media, and like every day people hate on them and say all this stuff, and like, you know...
Just like don't say anything. You don't have to say something mean. Just keep scrolling if you don't like it.
Well, to put people down, like, I don't understand that power just because I grew up in that dynamic at home.
Yeah.
Well, if you have to tear another person down to make yourself feel better, like, how do you feel better about that? Because as a woman that always tries to be positive, despite, you know, my laugh, cry, or kill people options in life, I could never sit there and put down another human and feel better about myself.
Right.
You know, it's just like, it doesn't even process that way. Mm-hmm. And like, I think the internet has made it so easy for people to sit there and talk shit and not be accountable.
Yeah, you can hide behind it.
Well, exactly. I'm not going to say that to your face, like, of course, but I'll sit there on my computer at home and have opinions about things I know nothing about. I don't know the whole story. I come in for a glimpse of it, and I think I know.
Leave your opinion, say something super mean, and then leave. And not go back so you can't see what other people are saying back.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, people are cowards. I'm talking about dating and stuff on the internet or anything else. Mm-hmm. People aren't accountable. They don't have to sit there and actually answer for what they say and do to people. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's one of the downfalls of our society, to be honest.
I had another client who was totally catfished, and it makes me so sad. She's probably in her 70s. Mm-hmm. Another one, an older lady, totally got catfished, and it's so mean. Like, I don't understand. People need to stop being assholes.
Well, people just need to stop hating. Like, why can't we be positive and supportive? I mean...
And not try to fuck people over.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this with you earlier, like, how many people I have to support me tomorrow, Mental Health Matters Day. Like, I think I'll have my own cheering section. Like, I have, like, people taking off work, coming from SoCal, the Bay, like...
I should, like, make a huge sign, like, the Jen section.
Yes, you should. Like, all of you get together so I can see you, so it's not spread out. I mean, my therapist and, like, treatment person from the trauma center is coming. Like, the positivity that you bring when you have all these people, but then there's, like, that one person that will say something negative, it takes away from all that positivity. And that's so hard when you put yourself out there and make yourself vulnerable. And so, you know, I think that we focus so much on that fear of what the negative's going to be. Like, you know, I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen when I give my speech and put myself out there? I shouldn't have to be fearful of telling the truth.
Right.
And so much of the stuff on the media is negative.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's talk about breakups. So, we gave you a poll if it was appropriate to break up via text message. 15% of you said, yeah, can do it via text. 85% said to do it in person. Now, I think this is it's a little skewed, only from the standpoint of people who've been broken up with text that are very mad about it.
I think it depends how long. Look, if you've been together for 5 years, don't break up over text. That's just fucked up.
I left it very open-ended because I wanted to see what people's response was.
Right.
Because if it's like, you know, first date or second date, okay, like, that's fine. Or, like, most people don't say anything at all and just kind of, like, ghost.
Right.
But, like, you know, if you've been dating someone a while, do they deserve more than that?
I think it depends on how long, like, if you've, like, met their kids, if you've met their parents, like, be respectful and be like, look, it's just not working out. But if you've gone on 4 dates, it hasn't gone anywhere, then just text them and say.
Well, I thought it was interesting though, as in calling the person. Like, in the comments, so there's so many comments. And it's like, can I just call them? Because we don't call people anymore. It's like either in person or text them. And I thought it was really funny. Everyone's like, didn't ask like why I gave that option. Like, calling a person. Like, having a conversation. Why is that so foreign to our society as a normal thing to do? Because, like, that used to be what we did.
Right.
I mean, no. I really don't like breaking up with people in person. It's very traumatic.
I just divorce them.
Well, see, I mean, I don't, their story just came to mind, but like, about my family members, but yes. I think that, you know, having to be accountable, like, you know, having to face that person leaving, it's hard.
Right.
And a lot of people try to avoid that, but then they don't want someone else to do that to them.
Right.
So I think the poll results are what has been done to them versus what they do to others. Right. So I should have specified more. So let's talk about the craziest reason you've ever broken up with anyone. I can't wait to hear this.
So, I had one date with a guy. So it was when I was in college at 16, and I was in college, and some guy was like, hey, you want to go out? And I was like, okay. And so we were in the middle of, he golfed. So we were in the middle of like this like golf store, I don't know. Oh, fuck, I don't do that, so I don't know. I was lost. But I was hanging out with him. And then he starts telling me how he was a Coast Guard. And how if he was going to get rid of a dead body, he would know exactly how to do it. So I was super nice the rest of the date. Because he knew where to get rid of my body if necessary. And then I never called him, I don't even know if I had text back then. I mean, we're talking, I was 16, I don't even know if cell phones were around yet.
Where did you meet this one?
At college.
In college?
Yes.
So in a class on a corner? Like, I mean,
judging by my pattern.
This is 25 years ago, so there was no texting.
No, there's
texting just started when I went to college, so I'm a little bit younger than you. Texting was like right when I went to college.
Right.
So that was like the new thing when I was 18, so like that's 18 years ago.
No, so I had a landline in my bedroom. So I just didn't call him, didn't ever talk to him again, because that was weird.
So, like, you know, the answering machine thing, like we screened calls back then.
Yeah, I might have had caller ID.
I don't even know if we had caller ID. Oh, actually, I think we did.
So we could be like, oh, hell no, I'm not answering that.
When I was in high school, we had a caller ID, so yeah, that was around my then. But it cost money. And then, like, you could star 69 or like, call people back. Yeah, call people back.
Fun times. Now it's too easy.
We pay for, like, the thing per month to tell you who's calling you, because I do that. This guy was, like, giving me his number, and he sees his name, like, appear on Saturday night. Because, you know, we had to have a rebound, don't worry. And it appears, he's like, what do you have, like, tracking information on there? I'm like, it's called protocols. I like to make sure that people are honest. If you're gonna, like, you know, call me, you better be who you say you are. Right. And he pulled out his driver's license then, and so I thought that was pretty cool.
Funny.
Well, you know, at least my rebound was a scientist and, like, getting his master's in intelligent.
Upgrade.
And 6'5". I mean, like, if you're gonna go out and have fun, you might as well reach for
the
stars, you know. The breakup stories. So, craziest breakups. Well, I think that for me, it would probably be the one that just went on. Only because of the gaslighting. So this is like a deflection technique that people use to rewrite like the scenario to make themselves feel better about the choices they made.
Right.
And I think that nobody saw it coming.
Right.
Like what went on.
I liked him. He passed my bullshit radar.
I
It's
know.
a little annoying.
Yeah. So have no fear. Like I will make him be accountable in some way, shape, or form. But for the shit that went on. But I think that that's one of those things of like you get blindsided. And the person still thinks you're with them though, even though you told them you're not. I found out 6 days later.
Does he think you're still together?
He did until Saturday, until we had that conversation where he called me a fucking bitch and hung up on me for saying I was gonna tell the truth. So, and then he called me back and I was like, so am I still a fucking bitch? Because I think that that's like, you know, one of those things, like, you see someone's, like, true colors, like, when push comes to shove, and if you can't be accountable and, like, want to sit there and, like, create a new narrative of what happened, like, that, to me, is, like, exactly what I grew up with, and I have absolutely no patience, and I know you know this one all too well. It is symptomatic of
It's a narcissist. My favorite word.
Sociopath, abuser, like, some sort of, like...
all the same.
And so I think that, like, you know, when you're in that situation, like, normally I'm like, oh, is it me? When I told you what happened, I was like, so here's me saying I'm not going back. And I told you what happened. Did you have any doubt in your mind that I was telling the truth?
No.
Exactly. Because, like, that's what we always tell ourselves, that we doubt ourselves.
Right.
And so to get that place of healing, of knowing that, like, you just run away.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you love this person, doesn't matter whatever. They're not going to change.
Right.
If they're doing this shit in the beginning, it only gets worse.
It only gets worse. It doesn't change. You can't fix them. You can't make them better. You can't help them through therapy. You can't have 3.5 years of Christian marriage counseling. You can't fix a broken person.
No, you can't. And the fact that, like, you know, you need to tear another person down and make yourself feel better, we go back to that whole idea. I think that this would be a really good example of that.
Right.
Like, because I worked so hard to get my shit back together, I'll be damned if one motherfucker, like, sits there and, like, demeans me in some capacity when I've done nothing.
Right, well, his life is crumbling, so he's like, shit, I'm going through all this, so let me try to tear you down a little bit.
And see, like, my relationship, the last one that I was in, like, which is, like, you know, ended 4.5 years ago, like, I think that's what, I was like, it was a sinking ship. He's gonna go down, I was going down with him. And then to get back out of that was, like, through hell. And so, I'm not going down that road. Good luck. Right. Good luck with, like, your shit.
And that shows, like, a lot of strength on your part. Because a lot of women would have been like, well, maybe I'm overreacting.
Maybe it's alcohol.
Maybe it's alcohol related. If he just doesn't do that again, maybe he... But you were like, fuck this shit. Yeah. And that would show a lot of strength.
Yeah. And then I went and told someone that night, actually, like, the night it happened. Like, so I didn't just, like, sit there and, like, be the victim. I, like, went and told my friend that was visiting and such, and, like, made sure I got the fuck out of the situation. Which is, like, you know, when... Back in the day, it was not something I would have done. I learned from the police that if you're assaulted in any capacity, leave your house and leave the person there. I mean, I think that when people think they can get away with it, that is like when they think you're going to be the victim, that they lose all ability to write the narrative. And then the rewriting of it was hysterical.
Right, it was entertaining. He rewrote it twice, so I'm not sure which reality he's living in.
Oh no, there's more than one. So, I mean, anyhow, we talk about breakups and stuff and seeing someone. So, let's go on to the next topic. Why are people overwhelmingly happier in relationships than being single? So
I was surprised.
Okay, so only 29% of you people are happy being single. 71% of you are happy in a relationship. Now, the person that, you know, doesn't do relationships and just, like, you know, trying to go into one for 2 months is probably very much happier being single and having rebounds and meaningless things than being in a relationship, because that means there's, like, that investment and that failure you now have to live with. I don't know. I don't like that. Like, another one on the list. Like, because my mom used to say, like, oh, God, what'd you do now? Like, to drive this person away.
Right.
And it would always make me feel so bad. I would stay in shitty situations. Right. Because I didn't want to have another relationship or marriage failure. Like, you stay.
I stayed in the last one for 8 years. Cheated on me the whole time. I knew. I found girls' phone numbers all the time. He got his 3rd DUI while we were married. I mean, but it was... It was, do I want another divorce? I want to put, my kids through that shit. And then, afterwards, it's, the kids are so much happier.
Yeah, because you're happier.
Because I'm happier. There's no fighting they're listening to.
Yeah, I think that, my parents told me to go back to the person I was seeing, when I was sick, and, I gained all that weight and such, and they said that nobody else would want me because I'd had a hysterectomy and gained all this weight, and that, literally, I was like, well, I should go put up with, him being an addict and cheating on me because no one else is going to want me. If your parents tell you that, right. That is a narrative that you believe. Mm-hmm. And so any self-worth I had left was to get this place when I left that situation, just so we're clear. And that was over 4 years ago. But, that was all the strength I had left as a person. And it's very hard when you've been through hell and back,
right?
To find that strength to leave.
Yeah, I was lucky, because I was told what a horrible mom, horrible wife. I was just a huge piece of shit. And then I got I had my cleaning business then, and the economy started to tank, so I got a part-time job at Safeway, and I met people, and people were nice to me, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not this horrible human being, I'm told. And so whatever little money I had, I went and got an apartment and never looked back.
And see, I didn't tell him I got this apartment. I went home and, I confronted him, and then I moved out. So it was I already had this place secured, didn't tell him. And then I was like, and then you write me back the month's check for the rent that we lived together. As a severance package. Right. Because then we been caught, and you put me through hell. But I think that, as we're talking about having people, validate you as a person, as I said, I'm why are all these people showing up tomorrow? It's hard to believe you have that worth when you've been demeaned and put down for so long. Mm-hmm. And my trauma as a kid, we were talking about this a little bit, and I'll get into it more tomorrow, but being told every day you're worthless, or you're fucking up, or you're this, you're that, you don't understand why people then want to be around you. Right. Because it's so ingrained in you, it's brainwashing you.
It is. It's totally brainwashing.
And, people always talk about, well, what is PTSD like? It's a lens you see yourself through. It's broken. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this, before, the stress, or I feel bad, or whatever. We don't see it correctly. We don't see our self-image. We don't see the world. It's through a filter that people don't know exists.
Right.
Because of the trauma. And it's a narrative that has been written for us that we got no control over. Mm-hmm. And I even text my trauma therapist, Kim, who will be there tomorrow. She's very proud. That, it's really hard for me to, all these people are showing up and I don't know why. And I was, talking about all this stuff. I feel like it makes me sound so broken. But when in reality, I know that it's going to help so many people and they're going to see strength. But in my head, telling the truth and putting myself out there means I'm a fucked up person. That is a narrative.
And that plays in your head because I don't see it that way. I don't see it as this fucked up person's going to go talk. It's this person who's been through hell has come out the other side, and you're strong. And you have something to offer everyone who doesn't feel like they can continue. Who's just feels so lonely and hopeless and helpless. Yeah. It's going to be nice for other people to hear, oh, shit. Well, I'm not the only one.
And I think that that's the hardest part for me. It's it makes me emotional, you saying that, because it's something that I've never heard, because that's not what was reinforced at all. It was the complete opposite of that. And, the more I've read and stuff over the years and stuff of what went on at home, it wasn't my fault, but I didn't know any different. I didn't know, just like you didn't know, that this isn't normal to think like this. Right. And I was so hard on myself and pushed myself so hard and didn't ever let people in. Never let people in, didn't have real friends, except party friends or whatever. And so to have all these people rally behind me tomorrow to come to do this, it's what did I do to deserve this? Because to me, I don't understand unconditional love, because that's something that was ever given. And I think that all these people showing up for me and seeing me through all the, the good, the bad, the whatever, I'm why are they still here? I don't understand that when my own family abandoned me.
Right. Well, people are born into shitty families sometimes.
But I didn't know the difference until I went through all the trauma, I guess, and having to ask for help and not being able to do everything by myself. And my friends stepping up and being there for me, and people I didn't even know that well. When we first met, Marcus Allen asked us the other day, how long have you known each other? September.
We met on Instagram.
Just it's one of those things though. But when you explain to people that you have that instant bond because you're honest and you're vulnerable. Right. It's a very different place to live from. And when you have PTSD, it's immediately oh, you're in the club! I said, oh, you're in the club.
It was an instant oh! So I was I found one. And I still didn't know what the hell I was going through. I was still like in the beginning part of therapy, so it's just funny that like we met on Instagram and we've never left each other's side.
Exactly, basically, we never looked back, and I've gone full-fledged into it. And I think that that's one of those things, though, like the PTSD support group I talk about that, like, you know, is the crazy group that, like, you know, we have to, because the lens in our head, when it starts the PTSD and the thoughts and it goes full-blown, there is no reasoning with that, because it's a fight or flight, that's the what you've been conditioned, all the emotions, all the bad comes out. And having people that can ground you is, like, what is the saving grace of that. And I think that, you know, we both go through this. Like, you came in, like, hot today. I'm like, alrighty then. We're going to have to, like, work on this, Darth Vader. It's fine. But being able to, like, know, though, what the symptoms are of that, you know, is, like, one of those things, like, because you can see it in another person. As I've said in the last podcast, you know, you only can see the good in others that you have in yourself.
Right.
And, you know, like, knowing that, like, what it looks like on the other side, it's like, how do I help this person de-escalate? Like, and knowing, like, this person just needs you to be their friend and, like, get their mind off of it because their cognitive functioning will come back online. And the primal part of the fight or flight of, like, like, like that.
I was in that like constantly. But it's not the fight or flight anymore. It's just I have so much going on. I'm just like always like my engine's like revved up to here constantly. So you're like, so listen.
So listen. I'm like, I got this speech tomorrow. I was really ramped up, you know, like sounding like a selfish bitch. I'm like, you're gonna listen to it again though.
I'm like one keep calling, then another keep calling, and I'm like,
you're spread very thin.
And
I think that that's like, you know, like one of those things that people don't realize is like, you have a lot more on your plate than I do. I have a lot more emotional issues, perhaps.
Well, hopefully I finished up one today with the whole Modesto thing for a while. I finished that up, which felt amazing.
Yeah. I mean, we work our asses off. To be functional. To be functional human beings. They're so good. You know, that haven't, you know, laugh, cry, or kill people, apparently. At least go-tos. So we were laughing. And sometimes there's moments of crying, but we haven't killed anyone. So,
so my next therapy appointment, because I missed my last appointment, I was like, I'm not going to reschedule. And she rescheduled it for me, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch. And then I was like, she made it for the end of the month. I was like, I'm in Vegas. It's the day before I go to Vegas. I have zero excuse.
I know, like on my text message was like for mine next week too. And I was like, God damn it, on Wednesday. Because like,
it's Wednesday.
I know.
That's
like,
the second time we've had our therapy on the same day.
Yeah, well, mine's just a doctor's appointment, but he's like therapist because his wife's a psychiatrist. So like, because I haven't gone to treatment like since December. I finished with Kim, but I went for 2 years. For 2 years, I was in treatment. And for a year and a half, that was trauma treatment with Kim, who will be there tomorrow. And like, it's not quite the same as normal therapy. Thankfully, you don't have to talk. And this is like trauma therapy. You don't have to talk.
Oh, this is amazing. How do I get on that?
Yeah, right? No, it's great. So it's called like brain spotting, and you find the trauma and like actually like living through the emotions and everything else. Excuse me, and then EMDR at the same time. So it's a very different approach. Because all those years of me talking obviously didn't fix it. Because I didn't allow myself to feel those things. And so when your brain is activated in a certain way, those memories come and the emotions, and you have to live through them. But you become desensitized. So it's
that doesn't sound fun either, no.
No, it's horrible. Like, do you understand that, like, remember I told you what it's like to live through this?
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
You do it in a safe place, but yes. So, when people ask how do you get better, it's not easy. It's not like there's like a, you know, like, when people are like, you know, thinking tomorrow, like, oh, Jen's like all better. Jen's not all better. Jen's a work in progress. Like, and I talk about myself in the third person sometimes because it's like, I don't even believe it's me anymore. Because it's, I've done better than I ever imagined coming back from this. Like, literally, like, cognitive functioning 0 to, like, I'm doing all these things. And that's a better reality than I ever thought I would have. But to go through the hell that I lived through to get there, like, is unexplainable, inexplicable, very difficult to articulate. Because all of my childhood trauma, all my lifetime of trauma, like, going through that by yourself. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not the easiest path. But, like, I'm not crazy. As we talked about, like, you know, it was the easiest that would have been. I mean, like, but think about, like, what are your choices at that point? Like, well, I tried to commit suicide, that didn't work. Like, you tried to, like, you know, The third time wasn't the charm. This is the only thing I've ever failed at this committing suicide.
I'm glad you failed. I'm glad you failed.
But after the third time, I was like, obviously, I'm not succeeding at this, no matter how hard I try, no matter what I do. There was a reason I am still here, and so I had to find the good. And like, even though I sometimes have those thoughts, I think that being able to articulate that means you're in pain versus that you want to actually die is like the biggest thing that I learned. Because I said that to you when I'm hysterical.
Right.
And I mean, I think that all of us go through that. Like, we don't want to live with the amount of pain and trauma. I mean,
I never, but like I had kids so young, I guess I haven't gone through like the suicidal thoughts because where are my kids gonna go? Not their biological father, he left them on the curb.
I mean, like, you're selfless in that way. I think that most people don't think about all that, like, to be honest. Like, that's kind of one of those things of being selfless. Like, I think that most people don't want to live with what my life has been like. And, like, when people actually hear what's going on, they'll be like, I mean, it's not a great, reality to live with. But when you've been through so much and everything else, you're like, I'm still here. I'm still a good person. Like, right. I show up every day and try not to terrorize.
And you are still a good person. You went through all that shit. You're not out, like, trying to mess people up or mess up their lives. You're just like, all right, so I can keep going,
So at 14 years old, when I went to therapy, like, she asked me, Lydia Griffin's like, so what are your goals? And I said, not to turn out like them. That's all I wanted. I said, I want to be a good person. And that's like, she's like, okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
But, like, that was so much work never to take it out on other people. And when people do shitty things or talk shit or everything, it always upsets me. Because I have every reason in the world to be mean to people. And I will never do it. Because I grew up in a household where that was just the everyday norm. I will never make another person feel like that. And so just survive all that and be like, I'm still a good person. I've given my entire life as an adult. I taught special ed, being a dating coach, always trying to give back. It's because you're trying to make people not feel the pain that you did. The Ron Williams quote is like, the loneliest people are the ones that are always trying to help everyone else because they don't want them to know what that feels like.
Right.
And that was so much of what my reality has always been is, if I can't fix me, I'm going to go try to help all of those others who are in pain. And so I taught high school continuation special ed. And all the kids were like, how do you know? You grew up in the fucking Upper East Sac, like upper class. And I was like, I know what it's like to be abandoned. I know what it's like to be abused. I know what it's like to feel worthless. I know what it's like to, like, go through all these things.
Right.
I grew up in upper class. So you get to talk about it. No one believed me. And so being that teacher that could understand the place that these kids ended up in the system was, like, what made me different than everybody else. Because blonde hair, blue eyed, walking in, these kids are like, oh, this bitch. But, my kids to this day still, like, come find me and say, Miss Bryan, thank you for not giving up on me. And so the effect we have on people being good, human beings, and not tearing them down, we don't sometimes realize until much later.
Yeah. Well, I've helped too. I helped two clients. I didn't even charge them lately. Because they call me with, like, these stories. I'm like, okay. Like, one of them, she paid another private investigator, like, hundreds of dollars. And she wasn't happy. And she's like, now I can't even get a hold of them. And I was like, it took me, like, a minute. I was like, here's your information. Like, you just paid so much money. You didn't get what you needed. And some other lady who was catfished. I was like, here you go. Yeah. He's married. Here's the picture. Move on. Because,
I mean,
it's helping.
No, it's helping. It's, like, giving them that, like, out, though. Like, here's your way out. It's not you, it's them. And giving people that closure that, like, they would not have otherwise is so important. Because we always blame ourselves. Because, like, the people, I saw this quote or, like, picture the other day, like, the people in therapy are never the ones that are bad. It's all the good people that have been fucked over by the bad.
Yeah.
They go to treatment or go to therapy or get help because they don't know what they did to deserve what the other people did to them. And, I did bad things. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I did not hurt other people in the midst of my trauma. Like, that is not, like, a card I'm playing. No, I did some really fucked up things to survive the last couple of years.
Dude, I mean, I was a horrible person. Not a horrible person. I didn't know how to deal with life. And so I did some messed up things. And I don't think it's who I am. It's how I dealt with stuff at the time.
But it's coping. Like, you're trying to survive, and I think that, like, you know, as my therapist said, you have to give yourself your grace. Like, she's like, you do whatever the fuck you have to do to get through the day. It doesn't matter. You forgive yourself because you were here to see another day, and that's longer than you thought you'd be here or anybody else thought you would. And so, whatever you did to cope, like, I did a lot of bad things, and, like, you know, that's a whole other chapter of my life that I'll probably never talk about, but, you know, to get through the day, to be able to function, you do things that you never thought you were capable of. And that was a reality I lived the last couple of years. I never thought I would do a lot of the shit I did, and I get to live with that. And so I'm sorry to anyone I hurt along the way in my dysfunction. You know, there's probably a lot, because I didn't tell people it was wrong. I just would push everyone away because I was trying to make sure they weren't hurt by the hurricane of train wreck me. I won't take anybody down with me. Therefore, I'll push you away.
Right.
And not tell you what's on the other side of it, because people always want to be nice to me. And I'm like, oh no, you don't want to get on this ship and sinking. No oars, no paddles. No. Like, we have no destination. We may not be here tomorrow. Like, who knows? You don't need this on you. I was like, if I don't make it, I didn't want it to be on anybody.
Right.
So I, like, you know, pushed everybody away, because then it was not on anyone. So all those months, the 16 months of isolation, was I didn't want anyone to feel responsible if I didn't make it.
Right.
It wasn't like I wanted to be by myself. It was I didn't want to take anybody down with me and have that be on anybody's conscience. Now, how selfless is that one? No, I mean, like, people don't understand the amount of pain, you know, to put yourself back together and go through that by yourself. I mean, I don't know very many people that would do that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure that I didn't inflict more pain upon others when I couldn't even deal with me. So, anyways. As you continue to get messages from your children and kids. I think this is a good place to leave off, you guys. So, episode 10 of Sexcapade Chronicles. Tomorrow's my speech. We can't wait to hear your vents, rants, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, keep sending them in with your donations, and we can keep getting...
It's beautiful. Yes. We want to do a mural, Kim. It's you. You're gonna do the mural.
You're it, Kim. We need this pretty.
My clothing designer for the Hot Mess Express. There we go.
Yeah.
So until next time, you guys. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.